I feel that many people can relate to this on some degree, but I myself grew up very heavily on the Pac-Man franchise. Everything from the actual arcade games, the spin-offs, platformers, this. There were many different outlets for many people to at least be familiar with some portion of what the iconic franchise had to offer. There were many other game franchises that I grew up with as well, which very likely will be covered in future videos that I make, but today I wanted to cover something a bit different from the official Pac-Man media. Being a child in the late 2000s, early 2010s, I have a lot of nostalgic attachment to the older days of YouTube, and just the internet in general. Back during a time when YouTube was a place where literally anybody could just post whatever they wanted without any restrictions, guidelines, or limitations. With this came very interesting animations and videos associated with our beloved game characters, and me being Pac-Man obsessed as a child, I found myself stumbling across many Pac-Man related videos that are a core part of my early YouTube years. So join me as we take a nice trip down memory lane and witness the bizarre yet charming early YouTube parodies of our beloved Pac.
Oh shit, here comes Pac-Man.
Listen, guys, I figured that this video might as well start off with a fucking banger. This animation, simply titled Here Comes Pac-Man, was originally posted by a user by the name of Hackor, I think that's how you pronounce it, on July 6, 2006. The video itself is straightforward. It's two dudes chillin' until our familiar yellow friend comes in yelling, "Yo, yo, 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 yo! What it is, motherfuckers?" And then the other guys are like, "Hey, Pac-Man, what's up?" And I don't know. I don't need to explain it any further. This video is iconic, and I'm sure if you're watching this video right now, you've witnessed this masterpiece in some way already. The audio in this video is actually a snippet from the song by Bloodhound Gang called Mope, which is a song that came out only 5 years before this video was posted. This video later on would have a giant resurgence, becoming a pretty viral meme for just how ridiculous it is.
Never, Pac-Man! Drugs will be the scourge of ye. I cannot help you there, matey.
Come on, boys!
The outdated animation quality of Pac-Man, the video quality only being able to reach 240p, it's beautiful. It's dumb and silly and charming, as it was clearly just a couple of dudes messing around just for fun with the limited quality they had. There's not really too much to dive into video-wise. I mean, it's Pac-Man, he asks if you want a freebase, and then calls you a pussy and does gymnastic level backflips. Truly, what else could you want in life? Now, let's move on to yet another drug-addicted depiction of Pac-Man.
Open up! It's time for the pill!
Oh, barnacles, I hate the pill.
We're still in the same territory of Pac-Man animations that came out in 2006 that turns out weren't just fever dreams I had as a child. This video, simply titled The Pill, was uploaded on April 24, 2006, by a guy named Roy Lazarovich. If I pronounced that wrong, whoopsie daisies. He animated this with 3D Studio Max, and its creepy and strange sort of vibe, I feel, is what made this video stand out to people. It's pretty much identical to bowling alley screens when you get a strike. The video follows Pac-Man as he needs to obtain another power pellet, so he runs into a marijuana dispensary of which he obtains a power pellet from this guy, and it's really hard to give a serious quote-unquote plot synopsis because fucking look at it. It's really interesting to me how there seems to be a common theme of Pac-Man animations during this time having really grotesque yet unique styles to them during this era. The voice acting goes along with this too, which in my opinion only really adds to the unnerving yet unique aspect of it.
The power pill! Look, I'm just interested in that one pill. The big white one. Now where is it?
No, you gotta be a little more, how they say, Pacific.
While browsing the other videos from this channel, the creator has some other animation work examples in a very similar style, which I thought was cool. Overall, watching this video as a kid freaked me out, but looking back on it now, its weirdness and crude nature, in my opinion, is what really makes it stand out. It's really a thing of its time. Dude, I have such a nostalgic love for video game internet cartoons that are just skit compilations, and this was one of the first ones I've ever watched. This series, while being its own thing, is almost in a similar vein to Sonic Shorts, which, by the way, as I'm making this video, just recently released its 9th entry after several years, so hell yeah. Anyways though, back to this. This series, Pac-Man Fever, was created by Dan and Dav, two twin brothers who are animators from Italy. The original video, simply titled Pac-Man Fever, was uploaded on April 10, 2007, and Pac-Man Fever Relapse was uploaded on December 17, 2010. The title Pac-Man Fever is obviously a reference to the song Pac-Man Fever by Buckner and Garcia. This series basically was a bunch of really cartoony skits that focus mainly on parodies of either the Pac-Man games itself, other video game franchises, and even celebrities. I genuinely love this series so much. This was mainly animated on MS Paint to my knowledge, and I don't know, there's just something really cool about just making silly little skits just because it's fun and goofy. It even gives a bit of a glimpse into pop culture at the time as well, which to some may see it as being dated, but in a way it's kind of like a time capsule. You can see that these guys just made this because they wanted to, which is something I feel about all these videos I'm covering. Also, I just really dig the art style of this series a lot, mainly just because it feels very homemade to me. And so far out of all the videos I've covered, this seems to me like it would be an actual cartoon of some kind, like a little Pac-Man themed clip show of some sort. I was able to watch the third Pac-Man Fever video that was released about a year ago, and it really seriously makes me very happy. Seeing a series go from working with MS Paint to a very professional looking clean animation shows that they're still going strong after all these years. This series is one of my personal favorites. It's really cute and cool. Glad to see that they're still kicking and improving. You know, when I get asked to put a classic horror movie on, everybody's all like, I wanna watch Scream, I wanna watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Then my bitch ass comes in like, let's watch Pac-Man the horror movie, and suddenly I'm the fucking weird guy. Pac-Man the horror movie was a short horror film created by Stanley Wong, and was uploaded on September 21st, 2009. This is the first video that I'm covering that's actually a blend between real-life film and 3D animation. This is a horror suspense film of the game Pac-Man, but from the perspectives of the ghosts. It showcases what each ghost does as a team following the death of Dinky. If you don't know who Dinky is, it's a reference to that one white ghost that shows up in the old 80s Pac-Man cartoon. I can't recall if he appeared in anything else or not, so if he did, feel free to let me know, because I'm like genuinely curious. The one thing that always comes to mind when I think about this short film is I dig the acting. I don't want to sound like a broken record by repeating this, but it has that certain good but not perfect production style, because it's just a couple of students making a cool film for themselves.
Cry about it all day! Easily. We always could have. We just have to touch it. Nikki, this isn't funny! I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. What did you tell me earlier? We get the same Dinky and Blinky!
I can't believe this is happening. We just go.
The actual 3D animation is pretty impressive too, especially for a video that came out in 2009. I also do appreciate the story. The each individual deaths of each ghost leaving Clyde is the last one standing, and some suspense shots of Pac-Man had me on the edge of my seat as a kid.
Was that the bite of 87?
So yeah, if you want to watch a pretty neat short film from around this era, I do recommend this one if you haven't seen it already. It's a personal favorite of mine, and as a film student myself, it's pretty cool to be able to see someone else's work. That's about all I have to say for this portion of the video, so let me move on to the next one.
The awesome series was created by Egoraptor for Newgrounds.com and Egoraptor.net.
Okay, so I chose this one specifically because I have a funny backstory behind it. Obviously, as you can see, this short Pac-Man animation was created by Egoraptor, aka Aaron Hansen, as part of his previous Awesome series. So, I've been watching Game Grumps for like many years, but I watched this animation long before that, so like technically I've been watching Aaron's stuff for a good chunk of time. It took me a hot minute back when I started watching Game Grumps to realize that I've been watching the same person's stuff for a while. So yeah, anyway, now for the video itself. For those who aren't that familiar, the Awesome series was a series of video game parody animations created by Egoraptor on the website Newgrounds, which, like YouTube, is a pretty nostalgic website for many people, myself included. This animation was one of the ones that as a kid I stumbled across. It's called Awesome Series Pac Awesome, and is one of the shorter animations in the series. This is going to be a shorter summary because it's a fairly short animation, but it's basically just the ghosts in their little square, with Aaron himself providing the voices for each one. Blinky sounds fairly normal, Pinky's a valley girl, Inky has a goofier voice, and Clyde is just a representation of my own sanity.
Wow, dude, you suck.
Shut the fuck up!
I've always really liked the art style that he had in his previous cartoons, and I know I said this previously, but there's something about that kind of dated but still original style of internet cartoons that scratches an itch in my brain. And yes, that is nostalgia talking, I'm not going to be afraid to admit that. Overall, this is just a neat little skit animation that was a part of a pretty iconic series of many from Newgrounds. I feel if we're discussing early internet cartoons, at least a mention of Newgrounds is pretty essential. Now, with all that covered, let's move on to our final conclusions. This kind of topic is one that I really enjoy discussing with others, because this sort of thing is honestly a big pioneer for why I'm doing video production in the first place. I personally have been making different kinds of videos for a very long time, and I can most certainly make more videos similar to this one talking about other forms of early internet nostalgia for me that inspired it. I've actually been considering making a separate video just talking about my video evolution and how I started, but I feel it's important for anyone of any art form to reflect on what initially inspired them. Also, in terms of the topic specifically of Pac-Man animations, let me know if you're interested in a potential follow-up, because there's definitely a lot more I can cover that I didn't during this video. If you want to see more videos like this, or if you want to see other kinds of content that I do plan on making, feel free to subscribe and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm very passionate about a bunch of different things and like talking about them, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, it would mean a lot to me if you'd stick around. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and I'll be seeing you guys around. Bye-bye! It's dumb and silly and charming, as it was clearly just a couple of- you could use clearly, just a couple of dudes messing around. Fuck. I don't want to sound like a broken record by repeating this, but it has that certain good but not perfect vibe because it's just a couple of students making a cool film for themselves. It's clearly- killing myself tonight, 9:08 p.m. Now let's move on to yet another- Wait, does this pick up? Hold on, wait. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I'm punching you in the face. I'm punching you in the face. Idiot. It's called Awesome Series Pac Awesome, and it's one of the shorter animations that I can't see my own script.